Let's jump right into this explainer with a question that honestly might just flip your entire perspective upside down. Have you ever wondered if this waking world we see every single day, the one we navigate, stress over, think is absolutely solid, is actually as real as we think it is? Or what if your whole life, your relationships, your joys, your fears, literally this vast universe, is just a grand illusion, something cooked up by your own mind? I know it sounds a lot like modern sci-fi, but thousands of years ago, the great sages of India were actually already decoding this exact mystery. This whole concept is framed so beautifully by an incredibly profound ancient text, the Yoga Vasista. It basically asks us to imagine having a really vivid dream. You're in it, you see mountains, you interact with people, you feel genuine fear, maybe even shed real tears, right? While you're in that dream, it is 100% real to you, no question. But the second you open your eyes, that entire universe vanishes. Poof, gone in a fraction of a second. So the Yoga Vasista poses this staggering question. Is our waking life just a larger, maybe slightly more stable dream that we simply haven't woken up from yet? To really grasp where this wisdom comes from, we gotta look at how this text actually started. We're following the timeline of a human life through the eyes of a young prince, Lord Rama. According to the epic traditions, Rama hit this point of deep, crushing, existential despondency. He's looking around and realizing youth's vibrancy fades, all that adult wealth eventually exhausted, the physical body inevitably breaks down in old age, and finally, death literally takes everything away. He saw the temporary nature of all worldly things and basically asked, if everything perishes, what's the point? It was right in that moment of crisis that sage Vasishta stepped in, delivering roughly 32,000 verses of profound wisdom to shift Rama's perspective from outward suffering to inward awakening. And the crucial takeaway here is captured perfectly in a quote from sage Vasista. He tells Rama, the mind is the cause of both human bondage and liberation. Notice what he doesn't say. The Yoga Vasista doesn't tell us to go out and fix the external world. Why? Well, think of it this way. If a mirror is covered in thick grime, changing the furniture in the room is never going to give you a clearer reflection. The text tells us our mind is that mirror. When your mind is turbulent, full of fear, the whole world looks like a place of suffering. But when the mind is calm, that exact same world becomes a divine experience. Consider this classic scenario. Imagine two people walking through the exact same forest at the exact same time. Mind A is just filled with anxiety. To them, every snapping twig is a predator, the wind howling is a threat. But Mind B, completely at peace. To them, the birds are singing this beautiful symphony, the breeze is super soothing. Now, the forest hasn't changed one bit. Literally not at all. Only the mind experiencing it has changed. It really proves that reality, as we experience it, is entirely subjective. Section 1. Queen Leela's Multiverse. One consciousness, many worlds. Now let's see how this builds into one of the absolute most fascinating stories from the text. This story revolves around Queen Leela. She was absolutely terrified of losing her beloved husband, King Padma, to death. Through intense devotion, she gets a boon from the goddess Saraswati. When her husband does eventually pass away, the goddess actually takes Leela's consciousness into the subtle realms to show her what happened to him. And what she sees is totally mind-bending. She literally witnesses the consciousness of her deceased husband living out completely different lives simultaneously. In one universe, he's a powerful king. In another, an ordinary commoner. And in yet another, a meditating ascetic. Seeing this infinite loop of realities, Queen Leela is just stunned. She asks the goddess the obvious question, which of these realities is actually the true one? The goddess's answer reveals the ultimate secret of the Yoga Vasista. She explains that time, space, and reality, they are nothing more than states of mind. Consciousness itself is just one thing, but the mind's desires project infinite possible worlds. She says, a single consciousness can manifest as infinite experiences, like one sky reflecting in thousands of lakes. Think about that. What we consider our absolute, undeniable, rock-solid reality is merely one of infinite possibilities projected by our own mental state. Okay, so if consciousness can experience so many different worlds, how exactly does the mind build the specific reality we're sitting in right now? The text breaks down the mechanics of reality creation, step by step. First, a thought is born. If you hold on to that thought, it turns into an emotion. When you repeat that emotion over and over, it becomes a habit. It becomes your nature. That habit then unconsciously drives your daily decisions. And those decisions, they ultimately build your tangible reality. So the reality you're standing in today is really just a thought seed that grew into a massive tree over time. We see this play out in everyday life all the time. Look at this simple exam scenario. And let's be real, we've all been student one at some point. Student one plants the thought, I will fail. That single thought breeds the emotion of fear, which completely paralyzes them, destroys their focus, and leads to actual failure. Student two, on the other hand, plants the thought, I will try my best. That thought breeds calmness, which enhances their focus, leading to success. Our external circumstances do not dictate our reality. Our internal perception and our thoughts are the actual architects of our experience. The sages offer us this incredibly beautiful metaphor to understand our relationship with our thoughts. They say the mind is like clouds passing across the sky. Sometimes those clouds are dark with anger, sometimes they're light with joy or heavy with sorrow. But the sky itself, that pure awareness behind all those clouds, remains completely unchanged and unstained. See, our fundamental problem isn't actually that we have turbulent thoughts. The problem is that we mistakenly identify with the passing clouds, entirely forgetting that we are the vast, silent, witnessing sky. Section 2, the 5 paths to a calm mind. So, if identifying with that turbulent mind is the root of our suffering, how do we step back into our true nature? Let's walk through these 5 profound practices. First is witness consciousness. When a thought pops up, don't fight it. Just observe it like a passing cloud. Second is self-inquiry. Continuously ask yourself, who am I? Am I this changing body? Am I these fleeting thoughts? Third is detachment. Now, this doesn't mean running away to a cave. It means living in the world the way a lotus flower grows in water, fully immersed in it, yet completely untouched by the moisture. Fourth, live in the present. Pull your mind back from the anxieties of tomorrow and the regrets of yesterday. And finally, fifth is surrender. Letting go of your ego's desperate need to control every outcome and just trusting the broader divine order of the universe. By actually practicing these 5 steps, a seeker eventually reaches a state called Jivan Mukti, which translates to liberation while living. According to the Yoga Vasista, this is the ultimate goal of human life. It's not about gaining supernatural magical powers or dying and going to some heaven somewhere else. It is a state of complete, unshakable inner freedom, calmness, and compassion, achieved right here, right now. You still go to work, you still love your family, you still fulfill your duties, but the inner suffering, it's entirely gone. Why? Because you finally understand the true nature of the one experiencing the world. The ancient sages loved using this powerful metaphor to show just how sudden this liberation can be: the snake and the rope. Imagine you're walking in the dark, and you see what you're certain is a venomous snake on the ground. Your heart races, your body starts trembling. The terror you're feeling is 100% physically real. But then someone brings over a lamp. In the light, you see it was literally just a piece of rope the entire time. Instantly, the fear vanishes. Was the snake ever real? Nope. The suffering only existed in the darkness of ignorance. The exact second the lamp of self-knowledge is lit, the illusion of your fear and suffering dissolves instantly, simply because it was never real to begin with. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this ultimate inquiry straight from the ancient sages. I want you to genuinely think about this. If, at this exact moment, every single thought in your head became completely silent, if every fear you hold disappeared, and every desire just faded away into nothingness, who would remain? What is that silent, permanent witness inside you that has never changed since the day you were born? Finding the answer to that question is the ultimate journey of the Yoga Vasista, and honestly, perhaps the greatest adventure of your life.